friend, neighbor, and a person living with disabilities. Sthembiso Zuma. Sthembiso, welcome to the Queer Superhero Show.
Yeah.
It is amazing to have you on the show, hey?
Thank you so much.
I mean, I think it's so amazing how you and I met. I think it's crazy, right?
Yes, I mean, we're neighbors and yeah, it's good to be here.
It's good to be here, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming. It's so important for us, when we start the show, to really ask how people identify and what their pronouns are, because it's very validating. For instance, I'll start off by saying, hi, my name is MonD, the queer superhero, and my pronouns are they, them, and their. So my very first question to you, Ste, would be, how do you identify and what are your pronouns?
Hi, I'm a queer. My pronouns, it's he, him, his.
All right. So listen, identity is such a very important thing that we take very serious here, And I'm always interested because a lot of the times people think we just woke up and we decided to be queer, And can you take us to the earliest memory when you became aware of your particular identity?
I think it goes back to primary. I was probably in grade 6. That's when I realized, I'm into guys and all that. But, I kept it private back then because, coming out is difficult also.
It is.
Especially in school. But as I journeyed along in school, probably like high school, matric, that's where I started coming out. And started dating, falling in love and getting hurt, those kind of things.
You guys must put in life. I know that life, it does happen. It really does happen. I mean, queer relationships are so difficult to navigate on its own. I mean, I'm very keen to find out when you started, you mentioned just this is something that you've always been aware of when you were younger. And then as you begin to grow into your teenage years, it's something that became apparent and you just started becoming more and more aware of it. Yes. I mean, who are one of the first few people that you shared this with when you became aware?
My first crush, he was a hottie.
He was a hottie.
Yeah, I met him in school also. We used to go to the same class. So yeah, we used to like share books and those kind of things. Wow. Yeah, I was in a boarding school.
Yo. I was also in a boarding school, so I know how intense that can be.
Boarding schools, there's a lot of naughty business that goes on there.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So yeah, we kind of like started dating, and then after school, then it became more serious and all that.
With the same partner.
The same partner.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I think it's so amazing how when you're young, when you start having these feelings that other people would have for the same sex couple, I mean, for people who are attracted to the opposite sex, for them it's something that is supported by society and it's something that is kind of normalized in a sense. But for us, we still have to navigate, the prejudice. I bet there was moments where the two of you were shy to even embrace each other in high school because you were afraid of how other people would look at you.
Yeah, most definitely. We were very shy. We kept it undercover.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, after school, then I got to meet his parents.
This got serious.
Yeah, so yeah. But things fizzled out
and
as time went on because of the distance, I relocated, left him behind. Yeah. But interestingly, he's still my friend on Facebook. So.
Ooh, so he hasn't like blocked you. You know how people block their exes and they're like, we're done.
No, we keep it matured, we're friends. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I can relate to your story because for me, I was also, I dated someone in high school. And it was a closeted relationship. It left me very damaged, emotionally, because there were certain things that I wanted to experience with him in public, but I couldn't, because, he would be afraid. And I was also living in hostel. So we'd have like a secret knock at night where he'd come and we'd hang out. It was really, really quite an intense thing to be able to navigate, and it kind of just made me experience quite a lot of prejudice. And this leads to a lot of my next question. I mean, you're not only just a queer person, but you're also a person living with disability.
Yes.
I mean, how was it growing up, navigating those two?
Okay. Well, luckily, like I said, I went to a boarding school. It was a boarding school of people who were like me, who had disabilities as well. We used to have people that are blind. We used to have people on wheelchairs, on crutches. So fortunately, there was never that stigma, you know. I think for me, the difficulty came about after school when now I have to navigate with able-bodied people, you know.
Yes.
And then I had to sort of like create certain awarenesses, kubona ukuthi hey, umuntu disabled actually uyafana nje nawe nami, yabo leyo nto.
Yes.
Yeah, we sisonke, you know. I mean, where I stay, for instance, I do my own cooking, I do
Yes.
my own bed, you know. I travel by a taxi, you know.
Wow.
So
And that's just how you've navigated through life.
exactly.
Yeah, and you haven't felt any kind of, dealing with that prejudice in that way. Especially, I mean, I'm very keen to find out externally, for
Yes,
example, when
yeah.
you would use public transport, where you would be able to navigate, were there any kind of form of prejudice that you'd experience on your daily life?
The prejudices are always there.
Yeah.
But I always say to myself, Uti, the onus is on me as a disabled person to create that awareness, to teach, to make people understand and become aware, Uti. People with disability, all they want is just love. They want to be listened to. You know, we also have feelings like everyone else.
Yes.
You know, yeah. So I always try ukuthi ngaso sonke isikhathi
That you actually
yabo,
inform people.
inform people. Yes,
Wow,
yes,
that's a
yes.
beautiful thing. I think
And
I love that.
Yeah, I find that it works. Even in the workplace, there are a lot of things that they were not aware or mindful of. You know, things like just holding a door. If maybe I'm coming through, they wanna like open it for me. Then I'm like, no, you actually don't have to do that. You know, I can just open the door
Myself.
There's no-
I can
You
just
know?
open the door,
Yeah.
independent.
Yeah,
I love
so
that.
It's those kind of little things, and people appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they
I mean, a lot of us
appreciate
as young black people, we predominantly, not just us being queer or a person living with disability, we grew up in predominantly religious or cultural homes.
Yes.
I'm very keen to find out, did you grow up in a cultural home or a religious home, and how was it navigating that on its own?
At home, they are Christians. My grandma is a staunch Christian. Wow. Indaba yobukhwele nobugay. Yo.
It's a bit intense.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject, but I've managed to come out at home and they've accepted it. But yeah, it was a challenge. It wasn't easy in the beginning. You know, I've had to sort of like slowly, get them to understand. Ukuthi, there's nothing wrong with dating another same-sex person. You know,
yeah.
it's just who I am. Better that way than just living a lie. Marrying somebody who's the opposite sex, only to find maybe in 5 to 10 years in marriage we're getting divorced because
Eish.
I have a side man
Man,
on the side that I'm
ayy.
seeing. We see a lot of that, and I
Yeah.
think also television is helping now. Even the stories that we watch, they tend to sort of like feature queers and show people out there how is it like
Yeah. Wow.
living a queer life.
Wow.
So those things are helping.
They are helping, right?
Yeah,
I mean, even
yeah,
this interview is
definitely.
helping somebody who's watching us right now.
Yeah.
They're learning so much about life. And I think that's beautiful. That's the power of media. That's really the power of
yes.
media. I mean, what is that one thing in high, that you wish you knew when you were younger that you know now? I think a lot of the times, when we look at the education, the schooling system, those were the fundamental stages of our lives. A lot of the
Yes.
times, I mean, for example, I could say that I wish I knew, that it was okay for me to be in love with another person, and to embrace that same-sex relationship openly and actually embrace that, But because it was not that celebrated, it became a bit difficult for me to even explore a relationship. And I wish I knew then. And if somebody had encouraged me to say, no, go for it, fall in love, be young, explore the idea of your identity and stuff like that. So I'm very keen to find out what are the things that you wish you knew when you were younger that you know now.
I wish when I was younger I knew that I didn't have to be discreet about who I was. That I just had to
Wow.
be open, about who I am, because I found that people, as much as they're uncomfortable with it in the beginning, but as time goes on, they sort of get to understand. They respect you for standing up for who you are, and
Yes.
that's what I believe. It is about as well. than living a lie.
And living a lie.
It's a big no.
Yo, it is, right? Yo,
Yeah.
you will be suffering your whole life and it's just not cute, you know? And I know it's not easy. Like we've mentioned, it's really not an easy thing to be able to come into comfortability with your identity, you know? It's a journey on its own that a lot of people have to venture on and really kind of figure that part out. I mean, purpose is a very important aspect of one's life. Do you think you have found your purpose, and what does that look like for you?
I'm still learning my purpose. I'm a Christian, so going to church, finding my spirituality, looking after my spirituality, those kind of things have sort of helped me to sort of see ukuthi, what does the Creator has for me. So I found that it has helped me. I'm still journeying, as I said. And I hope I will get there.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I mean, a lot of the times people think that when you're queer, you somewhat have to let go of your religious beliefs, you know, because there are certain views within religion that are very oppressive. There are certain there are people who actually use religion to propagate prejudice and violence. And I think it's those things that we really kind of just need to move away from and embrace that God loves you as you are. And God really, really loves us all and is all knowing and all forgiving and all loving. And I think it's so important for us to push the message of love within religion.
Most definitely. I mean, in the scripture, for instance, the New Covenant is all about love. You know, it's I know a lot of Christians, they like to quote like the book of Leviticus
all the time
to try and get to us queers the booty. Hey, EQUALRIGHTS lento yethu. That is not true. You know, it's bullshit.
It is. It's bullshit. You're allowed to say
sorry.
this is YouTube, honey. Don't worry. This is YouTube. This is YouTube. You can swear. It is bullshit.
Thank you. Yeah, God is about love. He speaks to everyone, and we are all His creations.
Yeah,
and He loves His creations the way they are, and that's it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mental health is something that I'm very passionate about. I speak a lot about it because it's something that I've went through as well. Realizing that there's so many things that we are denied access to, you know, as queer people. You know, realizing that we often get ostracized by our family members, using religion, culture to oppress us. There's so many entities. People look at television and they see those queer bodies and they express how disgusted they are, and they say that they express how they're feeling or discontent about it. It pushes us deeper and deeper into a very dark place. And I'm very keen to find out, have you experienced mental health, and how have you navigated when you were actually dealing with that?
Yeah, mental health is quite a challenge nowadays, because I mean we see a lot of our fellow queers, you know, they're taking their own lives. And for me, I remember not so long ago, like 2 years back, I lost my job, I couldn't pay rent. I had to go to a shelter and just stay there, you know. But I found that for me, instead of like stressing and taking my own life, I was like, let me go to a shelter, seek help. You know, that's what, I did. And I stayed there. Then at least while I was staying there, I didn't have to worry about paying rent, didn't have to worry about food and where I'm gonna bath, you know. And all I had to focus was to just get that rebound going on. And while I was there also, what happened was there were a lot of people that came and they preached. And that's how I connected more with my spirituality. Yeah, because, you know, MonD, as human beings, we divide it into 3 parts. It's the body, the flesh that we see. There's the soul part of us, and there's the spiritually part of us as well. And what I find is that we don't look after our spiritual part of it, you know. So if you must go to church, or you must go to a mosque, or you must go to a temple, do it. It's going to help you to connect with your spiritual being as well, you know. And as long as these 3 things are taken care of, you know, the last thing you'll think about is to take your own life. Yeah, you know, speak to support groups. There are so many. Go to the Department of Social Development, social media. It's got a lot of stuff.
A lot of people who are, I mean, right now I'm in a virtual therapy, you know. I never thought that could be a thing, and it's been so helpful and beneficial to me.
Things like gym, those things help with sanity.
They do.
Just talk to somebody, don't bottle things out, you know.
I
think that's how I dealt with my mental health situation.
That's so good.
I'm still here, I'm still alive.
And we're glad that you're still here. Yo, Because we need people like you, we need people like you who exist and to just show the different shades of this beautiful, beautiful community that is forever growing and forever evolving. And I think, thank you so much for that. I mean, self-care is so important when it comes to mental health. I mean, and those were great self-care tips that you just gave there, that say to people, encourage, look after yourself, initiate things that are really healthy for you to get you up into the mental state that you need to be in.
Yes,
I really think that's beautiful.
Thank
What is your opinion on people using their preferences to hide their prejudice? A lot of the times people will say, and I'm making reference to speaking. A lot of the times queer people will be like, I'm only into like, masculine guys. I don't want to be like into feminine guys or whatever the case might be. We experience quite a lot of that. No fats, no fame, type of statements. A lot of the times people don't actually understand that preference is hidden with so much prejudice.
There's so much prejudice. There's nothing wrong with preference. I have my own preference as well.
No, definitely.
But as long as it's not done for the wrong reasons, you know what I'm saying. People must use it for the right reasons. And if you wanna find your match that will suit you, then go for it. Mina, I look more into the heart, into what's inside, than the physique.
The physique,
the physique part of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Oh my God. I want us to talk about hookup culture and I make this, I like this conversation because it's so necessary and important, you being a queer man. Have you used the hookup apps and how has it been navigating those hookup apps where people now take those preferences to another level and then they start saying, if you don't have these requirements, I don't want you. Don't come to me, and people just come there, please, I'm not going to apologize. This is my preference. How has it been navigating those hookup sites?
Well, I'm on all social platforms you can think of. I'm on Grindr.
Oh my God.
So Grindr has a lot of that. But I've met some good people on Grindr
as well.
I've been on Mamba online. I'm not that active. Those platforms, I do go in and
that's good.
Sort of see how people think, their preferences,
That's
and
really, really good. I really do appreciate that. I think that's quite an amazing thing. A lot of the times people, hookup apps, I think my only problem that I usually have with them is the fact that there's no protection for people who don't prefer or don't identify in those ways that other people are looking for, it kind of, in some way, I feel like it propagates those prejudices that are hidden in there because people feel like just because I don't have my picture there, I can speak to you in whichever way that I can.
Whichever way, but most importantly, also people must be very careful. I've read some serious stories.
I also read that article on Mamba Online about this guy who's really doing the most to people out there.
People get lured and then you meet up with this person.
And they're there to steal your things.
I've even heard stories where people get kidnapped and then they have to phone their loved ones to bail them out now.
And to ask for money.
So be very careful, do your thorough research, before you meet.
You meet someone
meet in a public place where it's not gonna
where it's not gonna put you at harm, because especially now with all these digital apps, we become so trustworthy of people only to find out Twitter swindler or whatever swindler is gonna be swindling us of money, and it's just gonna be bad, that we're seeing that in the modern world. I think for me that a whole Tinder swindler person really kind of made people, I hope people's eyes are opened because it's bad what can happen to you out there.
There's
really,
a lot
really,
of
really bad.
Be careful.
So there's a lot of cyberbullying that happens online. I mean, have you ever dealt with it and how do you navigate that? I mean, a lot of the times people, especially now, because people can just be followed by anyone, you can just be added by anyone as a Facebook friend. How do you deal with cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying is out there, but I've got a thick skin. So hey, umuntu mezosho into ethandwa uye. I'll give it back as it is. So cyberbullying for me, it doesn't really work,
I hear you.
But I always try, especially on Facebook, I'm a bit stricter who I accept.
I
try and accept people who maybe I've met
are kind of in alignment with who you are as well.
Yes, that kind of thing. And I think it helps me to sort of keep the bullying,
less.
On the lower levels.
That's cool. Have you ever been to Pride? I think that's the question I want to ask. Have you ever been to Pride?
I've been to Pride, the one there by, was it Rosebank side?
Melrose Arc.
The main one. Yeah, I've been there and it was nice, actually.
You had enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I wish to go there again this year. It's been a while.
Yes, it's always quite good to be in queer spaces,
Yes.
I think it's such an essential thing. I just hope that, they'll do better in terms of just their involvement and the inclusivity as well as they begin to grow.
Yes,
And I wish them the best in their journey. I think it's quite amazing to know that you've had an amazing experience there, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
it's really, really, really a good thing.
Definitely, and thankfully now even the COVID is slowing down.
It's slowing down, right?
So,
we can be out here, like living our best lives.
Yeah, we can have these events, without worrying about getting sick and all that stuff. Yeah.
I know. Is the government doing enough though to kind of cater for people living with disability within the workforce, within just public spaces as well? I mean, are they doing enough? I mean, I know that the government does have a lot of activations. They do have a lot of NGOs, NPOs that do cater to people living with disability. But is there enough that is being done, really?
I think on my side, no, there is not enough that is being done. Reason why I say that is because I'm in the corporate space, for instance, and I mean, where I work, there's hundreds of us. I'm the only person, which means 1%. Government has set up these quotas. I want so much percentage of
this amount of
living
people,
with disability. I want so many black people in such positions, etc., etc. I think we need to have more of like inspectors from the government side who will inspect these things and push for enforcement that it takes place. And then these companies, they need to how do I put it? They need to be punished by maybe paying more taxes because they're not doing enough.
Yeah.
We need to see managers that are persons
living with disability. Yes.
In the workplace, we need to see, for instance, toilets that accommodate queer people.
Yes, very true. Wow, yes.
It's not sufficient to just have a parking that has a sign of a wheelchair or maybe a bathroom that has a sign of a wheelchair, and then we think, okay, we're doing enough for persons living with a disability. No, that is not true. We need to do more. We need to make these companies feel and then we are part of society. They need to feel if they don't comply, they're gonna get punished by way maybe of paying more taxes, etc., etc.
Yeah. That's really good. Hey, I mean, you've got such a great vision and a great mindset when it comes to that because a lot of the times I think it's so important to hear it from the people of that lived experience. Because they can tell you what it is, the things that they're not getting and the things that they that they're not being adhered to. And I think for me, it's so important to have people like yourself who are not shy to be able to express that and to actually give that input as well, because what that does, it opens the conversation to a larger sphere, and we're able to be invited into your life and say, you know what, Osthe says this and this and this. If you guys put this, you'd be able to get the change that we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, within the presidency, we have a minister who looks after women, children, and persons with disability. What is this minister doing? Is the president doing enough to evaluate the work of this person? Those kind of things.
No, I hear you. Thank you so much for that, Stay. I mean, I think to the people who are out there living with disability and actually listening to this conversation, it's just very insightful to be able to hear that. And as somebody who is queer and a person living with disability, I think your existence is so important and so valid, and we appreciate you for being on this show.
Thank you so much.
What are the qualities that you look for in a partner? I want to get spicy and juicy. Because listen, if you don't want to say first, I will start because, listen, sometimes, we be out here. Like, for example, me, like in a partner, I'm looking for a daughter, a brother, a mona, which I think would be really great to kind of just navigate that space. Somebody who has the ability to be protective, who gives me the ability to feel safe. I think in the beginning, I used to be so focused on like, the person needs to be like a masculine or whatever. But I think I've moved away from that because like anything, I think our preferences do change and they do evolve, and we should give space for that. And so I'm at a particular place in my life where I'm like, my preference has changed. But as long as they're top, we can work.
Definitely.
Yeah, so very cute.
Well, I look for the hearts, as I said earlier on. It must be someone who's loving, Someone who gives attention to
Oh,
me, you know.
yes.
We must have that time for each other. Someone who checks on me regularly.
Yes,
Well,
right.
not every 5
no, but I mean,
minutes.
communication is necessary.
Yeah,
Yes.
communication. Someone we can build, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, not someone who's after money. You know, people sometimes they answer for the wrong reasons.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
true.
And yeah, someone I can acknowledge and he can acknowledge back, and we can build
Yes.
each other. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, not a cheater.
I don't want nobody to be cheating on me. Yo, cheaters be out there doing the most.
You know?
Yeah, no, because cheaters are not cute. And especially in the digital age, people be out here telling you that they're having this relationship with you. Can't zolo on the side they have somebody.
Something, yeah. So
That's not great.
That's
But
a big no.
But I love those qualities. I think they're so cool. Like communication, love, and the heart as well. And I think it's such a beautiful thing to look for in a partner, really. So navigating queer relationships can often be such a daunting thing because many of us kind of try to deal with our past traumas that we dealt with because of rejection and all the different things that we went through as queer people, being bullied and microaggressions as well. And navigating queer relationships can sometimes be difficult. You know, I mean, recently a conversation that has come up within just queer relationships is gender-based violence and violence within the relationship in itself. You know, and I think those are something that we never actually want to discuss within queer relationships, but they do happen. So I'm very keen to find out, as somebody who's mentioned that you've been in a relationship with someone, you know, because of distance, you guys really didn't, you know, you kind of grew apart. I'm very keen to find out, how was it navigating that relationship and a queer relationship at that?
Yeah, it can have its challenges. I mean, I've been in a relationship as well where things got physical and I've had to call the cops and all those kind of things. Yeah. But the main thing is that as a couple, it's important to respect each other, yeah, and talk to each other. Keep those communication lines open all the time. I think those things, they kind of help. And where you maybe foresee problem, maybe find someone that you both can talk to, that are, both of you are comfortable in sharing your experience.
Yeah, and all your traumas and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So but we learn.
You
with all
learn,
this
right?
From this, yeah.
That is so interesting. I mean, what are some of the things that one would feel when they're dealing with a relationship where physical altercation occurs?
Yeah,
I'm
it
very keen to find that
happens.
out, because like sometimes when people are going through that, there's a sense of shame. It's like,
Yes.
imagine now I have to go and I have to report this to the police and tell them I'm in a relationship with another guy and we
Yes.
got into a fight. It's like, they're just gonna think this is something of a joke or whatever. I mean, what are some of the things that you were going through emotionally at that time when you were dealing with that?
Yeah, that time I called the cops, and they came to the flat, wara, and then it's two guys, and then it came out that we were actually dating, and then they started taking this whole thing less seriously. Then they started making excuses, which I go to the doctor first. We want a report from the doctor. So So I had to tell them, hey, Yazuktin, I'm a vulnerable citizen. You need to do something about this.
Yes.
Yeah. So then that's when they were like, if this goes to the media as well, we'll be in trouble.
We'll be in trouble, yeah. I mean, imagine you had to threaten them for them to take this incident seriously.
They should know it, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so heartbreaking to hear. That is very heartbreaking to hear. And I think it hurts me because a lot of the times I hear these stories about like physical altercation like occurring within queer relationships. And I'm like, oh my God, like what? You know, and I become so curious to want to find out what happened, you know, what really, you know, what builds up a person to be able to get to that point within themselves, to be able to allow physical altercation to occur. And I've also seen it. I've seen it when other people have actually, you know, kind of have microaggressions with each other in public, and it was just kind of very heartbreaking to see a couple have to deal with that.
Yeah. It's the little tensions that build up in a relationship. You know, it's important as a couple. If hey, maybe certain things are starting to happen that are affecting a relationship. Again, you know,
Read those signs.
Yeah, read those signs. Speak it out. You know, if it doesn't work, seek help.
Yeah.
You know, speak to somebody.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you ever feel
something
like
like that.
you're misunderstood? And how do you feel with that? I mean, I think I asked this question because sometimes I think we want to be understood. We want, because when you're understood, you're loved and you're validated, you know?
Yes,
And I feel like even when I look for partners and I look for somebody, I want to be understood, you know? I want to have that sense of security within myself, that when I'm with someone that I say I love, whether my friends, whether my parents or anything like that, that I'm understood. Because when I'm understood, I'm loved. And again, I'm validated.
Yes.
Were there ever moments within just your life feeling that you felt misunderstood?
Yeah, I mean, I still get it even till today. But what I always try is stick to my friends that I've known for a long time, because they understand me better. I understand them better as well. And I know what to expect from them, you know.
Yeah.
And that just keeps me, you know, happy as a person to know that I'm with people that understand me, you know.
Very true.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is a challenge sometimes when maybe you have just started a new friendship with someone. There'll obviously always be those moments
where you have like, you know, a little bit of arguments and stuff, because you're still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, with time, things get better.
They do. What are some of the queer shows that you've watched? And what did you enjoy about these queer shows? I'm very keen to find out, like, you know, the shows that you watch where you mentioned these queer characters that are there and stuff like that.
Well, for me, it's got to be After 9.
Nobody remembers that show.
Yeah, it was so
it's
popular.
It's so funny that people don't remember that show. And it's so crazy that you mentioned that show, because that show's old, you know. We're talking like 2009 vibes. We're talking like, it's old. It's like, it's like when SABC 1 used to be SABC 1, you know, when we used to be like, sa.
Yeah, I respect that show, because it really came at a time where there was so much stigma.
Yes.
And, you know, coming out and say I'm queer was like,
a taboo. People don't understand that. Like in 2009, 2008, when you said you was gay, honey, that was just like, oh my God, what?
Problematic. Yeah. So I respect that show. It kind of broke that stigma, you know. Yeah.
I mean, it was about this man who was living a double life, you know, and he was out there on After 9, he'd go see another man. I remember Warren at the Barakimang. Who's this guy who's on who used to be on shift? Aaron
yes.
He was in that show.
Yeah, I've got him. I follow him on Instagram. And he follows me back. Yeah, and he's such a humble person.
Definitely a sweetheart. And Kemokaya, so I support.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's crazy. So I'm so glad that you referenced After 9. I thought you were gonna go like for a Pose. Have you seen Pose?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you really need to watch Pose. It's stunning. It's stunning. And you know, there's shows like that. I think it's so important for media to be creating stories like that.
Yes,
and I think we need that on national broadcasters. You know, we need to be able to be in that platform where we can be able to kind of see. I mean, I love the fact that you know, you reference a show like After 9, you know, because it shows that it did the work that it needed to do. You know, and it kind of transcended a message at a time where people didn't think that was a normalized thing. You know,
it achieved its goal. I really have much respect for it. You know, and there's some great broadcasters as well. I mean, Selby from
Selby, love Selby. Yes, yo.
So you know, it's people like this that have really broken those boundaries.
Yes. And we need that visibility in media as well, don't we?
Exactly.
It just makes me happy. But look, we don't have a lot of people who are living with disability represented in media. And especially who are queer.
Yeah, definitely. That's also something that was in my heart. You know, we need to see more actors with disabilities. I want my own radio show. Hey, why not?
Right, go. You want your own podcast? Let's go.
Yeah, so producers out there, my message to you is that there's so much that you can do with persons with disabilities who are queer as well. You know, you're basically missing out. You're sleeping on the money. There's so much money to be made. We're here.
Sleeping on our money. Thank you so much for noting that. I think that's so important. I mean, we need that representation. I mean, I know in America, there's been a few shows that have actually come up and have done a few things in terms of representation with people living with disability who are queer. But I think in the African context, we don't see that quite often.
We don't see
it. And I think we need that more, you know, because there are many people out there who are just like you, which I think is such an amazing thing.
Definitely. I mean, even the BBC in the UK, there's a guy who hosts a show called Travel Show.
Yes.
He's on a wheelchair, he's on dreadlocks. I mean, why can't we have something like that? He travels all over the world. And he just represents these countries ladies. I think also on the weather service, they've got a lady. She has one arm. And she presents weather forecast.
Wow.
For the entire
Yes,
world.
honey, the future.
So we need to see these
Representation.
things here in South Africa.
we do.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
Sthe, I really loved and enjoyed that. I think it's so incredibly amazing. Listen, we are going to be taking a quick dip to go to our Identity Define and find out who is our next session for our coming up episodes right here on the Queer Superhero Show with myself, MonD, the Queer Superhero.
Dumelang bagaetsho ke nna Didintle Kuno, and I identify as a queer bisexual woman, and what that means is I am sexually attracted to men and women, and yeah, I think everybody in between. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to connect with someone just based on their characteristics and their soul. And my pronouns are she, her.
That was a little bit of our Identity Defined right here on the Queer Superhero Show. Do make sure that you also hashtag Identity Defined as well as hashtag the Queer Superhero Show. And remember to follow us on all our social media platforms and click on that subscribe button, my love. With me today, I am still talking to Sthembiso, and we're having a very, very interesting conversation about a lot of things. And I think it's been such a fruitful conversation. I mean, we've touched on a lot: media representation, how you grew up, understanding the religious background that you came from as well. I think it gives us an inside perspective as well. And I really love the comment you made on the government really taking more initiative to make sure that they create inclusive spaces for people living with disability. And I think that's an important thing. So, I mean, what are some of the stereotypes that people have about queer people living with disability? I already know people have stereotypes about people living with disability, but on top of that, queer people living with disability.
I think for me the main one is cash. People think we cash cows. We have a lot of money.
What?
We don't have money. Angahleni.
For real, they think you're actually it.
Yeah, they're like, this guy, okay, queer, and also having a crutch, loaded.
Yeah. Wow. That's so crazy to me.
We are just normal. I also get broke sometimes.
Yay, tjhelete hena le ho sebeteng, guys.
Yeah,
Yo.
like I get a paycheck on the 25th, just like everyone. I have to pay rent.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah, so please, Batu.
We don't have money like that. But I think it's so amazing. Thank you for noting that, because I didn't know that that's some of the things. I mean, already I know like some people think like queer people have money.
Yeah.
But we do though. I will always push that, propagate that agenda. We have Tangura though. We work hard. One thing about us, we're hard workers.
Yes,
but I don't think we just want to spend our money frivolously like that on things that don't mean something that is important to us.
That's true.
So
yes.
I always commend us for being hard workers. Something that people often mention when it comes to hard work is that the fact that sometimes we as queer people, we always feel the need to want to be exceptional. And that in itself comes from a very traumatic place, Were you ever, when you're in school, were you always that child that always felt like I need to pass, I need to be great, I need to have the top marks, I need to succeed in order for me to always feel like I need to move out. Already the world is experiencing prejudice towards me, so I need to work hard and make sure that I fight against that. And somebody made me realize that it comes from a place of trauma, that we always want to work hard, we always want to be achievers. Is this something that you have dealt with?
Definitely. At school, I was always like that. I was a darks even in matric.
What? Come through, dark scholar. Hey, wow.
So even till today, I still work until sometimes 11 p.m., midnight.
Me, I'm worse.
Yeah.
2 a.m., 3 a.m., I'm there.
So,
you will find me.
So I'm a hard worker. I work for my money.
Yeah.
I always, it's about setting the standards as well. I think, I like to set standards for the work that I do. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of doing substandard.
Yeah, lackluster, mediocre vibes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I appreciate
give
that.
It my best.
Yeah, you've got to.
Yeah, you've got to be the best.
I know that feeling. You've got to be the best at what you do.
Yeah,
you're somebody who believes in economic empowerment. What is your opinion on the current unemployment crisis? I mean, a lot of young people are unemployed right now. There's a whole lot of things that are happening, governmental wise. And I think for me, I was a bit hurt and taken aback that our president took time to acknowledge, SMMEs, and I think this is something that they should have done in the earlier stages of their reign, to acknowledge young entrepreneurs and to be pushing for that, And I am aware of the fact that not everybody has the ability to be an entrepreneur, but the ability of them being able to explore that should be open. The opportunity should be there so that they can be able to explore that idea. So what is your current opinion on the current unemployment rate and unemployment crisis?
Yeah, the unemployment rate is shocking. I think it's around 30%, and it's been stubbornly there for the past couple of years. We need to encourage young people to be entrepreneurs in our country. We need to encourage queer people to be entrepreneurs.
Pink economy, darling.
Yeah. We need to make money. Other races are doing it for themselves.
Definitely. Building communities.
Yeah, like a white youngster, they drive immediately after school. Sometimes they even drive while they're still at school,
Yeah.
We need to see more and more of those things within our own black community as well. Government needs to come up with talk shops to encourage young people, even corporates. It's not just government alone. I think Cyril Ramaphosa was very clear in his latest budget speech. The SONA.
Yeah, the SONA.
To say, you know what? It's not just government responsibility. People must be hired, but government will create a policy that will enable corporate ukuthi ikwazi ukuthi hire
and hire young people as well.
Nama incentives ukuthi young black people, they must be part of the economy. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of internal homophobia and transphobia that happens within the community. We see that quite often. We see it all the time. A lot of the people that are, within just the community, they're pushing a lot of that thing. And I'm like, why would you do that when already society is violent towards us? But you choose that you want to be internally homophobic. You're like, because those gays are like, they have hair and they whatever. I don't want to hang out with those kind of gay people. Or those lesbian, they're butch. Or, you can't be butch and be like this. There's all these things that I feel are quite internally homophobic. And what is your opinion on that? I mean, have you experienced any kind of internal homophobia?
Yeah, I always experience internal homophobic. I've got straight friends as well. I mean, one of my friends was very homophobic. Yeah. So, but with time, he's sort of learned. And I mean, even last week, he like told me, Uti Hazutin, in the past, I would be so uncomfortable just to hug, a queer person.
Yeah.
But man, I'm so easy with them, So knowing you has also helped. I'm like, yeah. So, it's important also to find a neighborhood that is friendly towards queer people. I mean, I know where we live, for instance. It's a very friendly environment.
Space.
Yeah. So also gotta just watch out for that as well, so that you don't feel you are under threat and you have to watch your shoulder everywhere you walk or everywhere you go. Yeah.
People are always looking for safe spaces, and safe spaces are important.
Safety is important when you are queer.
Definitely, I love that. Safety is important when you are queer. People, register that. So how important is happiness to you? I mean, I like to ask people about happiness because, our community is not all sad and droopy all the time, but we're fabulous and, we are like living our best lives. So how important is happiness to you?
It's very important. I mean, during my free time, I like to go out, have drinks, get tipsy a bit.
Humunate! Yebo.
Yeah, so, but it's got to be balanced as well. We just mentioned working hard.
Yes.
You can't just be happy forever.
Definitely.
You'd be living in a bubble then.
Definitely,
you go around thinking that way. So you have to work and also make up.
And have fun while you're at it.
Exactly.
I like that. So we work hard, we play hard.
You've got to enjoy what you are doing.
That's you have important. To.
I
mean, you posted something so beautiful a while back on your LinkedIn account that persons with disability must be able to fulfill their role in society and participate on an equal basis with others. I thought this was so beautiful. Is this a stance that you still believe in today?
I still believe in it even today.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said, Uti, Nati, as persons living with disabilities, we still have a lot of work to do. The onus is on us to create this awareness. We are a niche. sort of market, so to speak, because we are only a certain percentage of the total population.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a lot of work because it's bancane.
Yeah.
We need to work together. We need to reach out there to people, use platforms like media platforms,
Yes. Yeah.
to say to people, hey, we are here also. This is what we can do. Be part of us, engage with us, I like what the UN does every year. I think it's the 3rd of December. It's the World Day for persons living with disabilities.
Yes.
They always come up with a theme every year on the 3rd of December. Okay, this year this is the theme, and I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, the theme was inclusivity, which meant the able-bodied and the disabled people must work together.
Work together, to build this better future, this better world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. I love that so much. And I love this quote. I think somebody should put that somewhere. I don't know, when we get bigger studios and we are living our best lives. I think I'm going to get that and just put it up on a quote somewhere because I think it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful message to encourage people living with disability to not give up and to also take the stance to rise up and stand up for themselves as well.
We have got to, yes.
What would you like to say to people who are homophobic, to queer people living with disability? I'm very keen to get that because a lot of the times people are out here with their prejudice, honey.
Yeah. Look, if you are homophobic out there and all I can say to you is shame on you. You're missing out, Queer people are such loving people. They're friendly, We're not after your skin. No.
Yeah, we don't want you. We've also got preferences and we've got taste.
Yeah, just get to know us, And I've just used an example of my friend. He was very homophobic, but now he's very comfortable with queer people and all that stuff. Yeah, get to know us.
Please get to know us. I love that.
So even if you into straight people, it doesn't mean you just shut your world to go my queer people.
No.
There's so much you can learn from us as well.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
With all the hate crime that is happening, and that we've seen happen throughout the years, what is it like living as a queer person in South Africa? And I think I ask this to every queer person I meet because I realize that it's scary. Yeah. It's very scary because for me, it's even if you're in a position of privilege or you've worked very hard to get to that level of privilege, you are still at a moment of vulnerability. You can still get attacked, you can still get killed, you can still experience some form of hate crime. So what is it like living as a queer person in South Africa?
It's challenging. Hey, I think. The law enforcement authorities, they need to be there for us as well and protect us. Like I made an example earlier on, we tried to call the cops over an incident that happened to me, But queer people, we don't hurt other people, we're not physical beings, we're not people that are out there to promote crime or hate or anything like that, So I just want to say to all South Africans out there that, get to know us, love us, and even in the workplace as well, don't shut the door for someone who just declared that they are gay, or they are queer, or they are lesbian. Because I've also heard stories like this. That's in the workplace. The minute a person comes out, then Iposiake is going to intimidate them. And, then they start plotting. They
want to get rid of them and stuff like that. It's very serious. A big shout out. I'll even use this opportunity. A big shout out to ABSA. Yes. ABSA has done some amazing transformative things within just their infrastructure. They've written amazing policies. I've worked for ABSA, and I've got to do an activation within there for the LGBTQIA plus people working within ABSA. And I think for me to see a big corporation like ABSA do that, it was kind of very life changing. It says something. It was whoa, this is good. That we are putting that into perspective of respecting our employees that work for us, and also hoping that one day those particular queer people can be in managerial positions, and they can get to work up because that's the whole process. It would be so heartbreaking to be able to deny somebody an access to an opportunity solely based on their identity.
Definitely. I mean, we need to see queer people as board of directors.
Yes, yes.
They need to be part of decision making.
Wow,
within our country, community, society at large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for noting that. I mean, it'd be so horrible to really have people just like having to deal with that in the workplace, very, very horrible. Anyway, so are you currently jollering? Are you in a relationship? And would you like to start a family one day? I mean, sometimes people think this question is like, it's like, oh my God, you're putting pressure on me. Let me tell you, I'm not in a relationship at the moment. I'm not in a relationship at the moment, and I wish I was, but I definitely am gonna be, and I want to start a family one day.
At the moment, I'm single.
Single and available.
Yeah, so I'm in the singlehood right now.
Singlehood. Yes.
So yeah, I'm open for CVs. you
Yeah,
know.
if anybody's watching this.
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah, so I'm just enjoying my single.
Would you like to start a family one day?
I would love to. You know.
Oh, so I'd like that.
Get married.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish that on your life. Like, oh my God, you deserve that. It would be so nice, right? Queer weddings are nice.
Oh, they nice.
I've been like to one, and I was like obsessed.
Yeah.
I love queer weddings. I think they're so cool.
They're so cool.
You know, we just break boundaries. We just do what it is that we want to do, and we literally just have lots and lots of fun, which I think is really, really amazing.
Yes, yeah. We just need to tone down on the divorce as well.
Right?
Yeah. Such amazing
moment
couples.
of silence. You're such amazing couples breaking up. Literally, there was one on Facebook recently, and I was so sad a little bit. I won't lie. Like I even told people, like the whole Sthembiso and Mohale thing kind of broke my heart a little bit. Because
even that Moshe
yes.
relationship I had.
No, they're still together. Those are still together, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still kicking it, which is amazing. I actually saw that they're still kicking it, which I'm really happy about. I was a bit hurt a little bit if they were to not be together, Because I think for me, visibility is so important. And to have queer couples in media represented in that way, for me, is just like so powerful, It
is,
I was very, I'm very happy every time I see like couples like pushing that thing, because I'm like, yes, visibility, and it's not all for everyone, it's not all for everyone. You don't necessarily have to publicize your relationship, but
no, not at
people
all.
forget that like you being a couple within just the community where you exist, that's important, because the moment you leave your house, somebody sees you holding hands, somebody sees you just like being with each other, and I think that's important, because then somebody can be like, yo mom, I saw two guys like holding hands and whatever, and then there's an educational aspect to that.
Exactly, and they can take us seriously as well.
Yes.
So hence I was saying,
I'm a divorce.
breakups, yeah.
Let's go to
Because then
counseling or
people will
something.
be like, look at these people.
They're getting
splitting
divorced.
up.
It's not
Yeah.
working. But I mean, it's part of life. It's not
It
just
is part of life,
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
part of just homosexual people's stories. It's heterosexual people experience divorce all the time.
Exactly, yeah.
But I always encourage people to say, don't stay in things that make you unhappy. If you're really unhappy and you see that it's no longer functional, please let go.
Let go.
Let go.
Move on. You'll
Yeah.
find another one who will make you happy.
What would you like to say to another person out there who is queer and is also living with disability? They're young, they're feeling like, people feel like they're going to be like this towards me and stuff like that. What would your words of encouragement be to them?
I will say, come out, reach out to us. There's so much love out there in the queer community. So don't just be in your corner, and keep to yourself. No, come and chill with us.
Come and chill with us, darling.
There's so much to show the world.
There is definitely so much to show the world. I've really enjoyed this conversation, but this show's not over until we play Who Would You Top Bottom of? Okay, I'm gonna need to cut. So we have here Lawrence Malika. Yes, honey. Ooh, Lawrence. We have Bobby Malloy. Ooh, Bobby
She's
Malloy.
hot.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, Bobby. And then we have Musha Ndiki. Yeah. So who would you top bottom of us, baby?
Okay. It's a tough one.
It is, right?
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
I will top Bobby.
Okay.
Okay. Lawrence, I would bottom.
Which obviously means we'd verse for Musha
Moshe
Ndiki. That was really quite easy. I thought you were gonna be like thinking about it for a long time, like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? But we had some hot people there, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
so
it was a
gorgeous.
tough one.
It was. Stay. It has been
you.
so amazing having you on the show.
Thank you so much. for having
I've
me.
enjoyed every moment of it.
Thank you. Same
Please
here.
keep on existing. What we're gonna do, like, I don't know, like on this show, I feel like one day I'm just gonna have a like where are they now vibes, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know. I always
yeah,
feel like I
yeah.
think it would be such an important content piece, like in the
super
future
nice.
when we look back, like where are they now, you know? Because this is a beginning of something great. And to be able to have people such as yourself on this platform, for me, is just validating. Very validating. And I wish you all the best in everything that you're going to be doing in your life.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor to be part of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is Sthembiso Zuma, everybody. And they came onto our platform and did the things that needed to be done right here on the Queer Superhero Show. I've enjoyed this conversation, and please do make sure that you follow them on all their social media platforms. My name is MonD, the Queer Superhero. Remember to love yourselves in all shades, honey. Until next time, bye.